Hello, welcome to this video of me reading this post. Here it says Aries, Cali Foss. Yes, I will be focusing upon the sol salts like I wanted to many years ago, but what is time? Here we have the Zodiac part one set of slides. So let's just get into it. I have Aries seasons listed. With tropical, typically Aries season aligns with the beginning of the Northern Hemisphere spring season and the beginning of the Southern Hemisphere autumn season. With a Sol Salt's focus, it is upon 12 sign tropical astrology. I don't personally have such a an intense attachment to either system, but I did list out two different systems I like to play around with. So the second one listed is 13 sign true sidereal. But as you can see, listed below is many different approaches to what the seasons would be considered for Aries. And so some of them starting 3 weeks after the tropical, some four. And yet again, yeah, what is time? I think it's good to be accurate within communication of what you're wanting to express. And I believe some things are very literal, but maybe not for everyone. So with Aries, this information is from Ascension Glossary, which is Lisa Renee's website, and I like to include her because I used to call her a bad alien, and at some point, as what usually happens is I realize I too am a bad alien. And maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental. So in this honoring of her information, we have stage one alchemy. She has been shifting from 12 sign tropical to 13 sign sidereal. I don't recall right now if it's true sidereal. I mean, it aligns that way, but I don't remember what she's calling it. I think galactic astrology is one of the names. Not I think, I know, but I just can't remember. Anyway, now stage one, alchemy, Aries. So with that, we have the natural law of mentalism, and this is where I like to highlight that we also have the first dimension with Aries. So I'll share a different set of slides with some more information on like the chakras and the auric layer connected to Aries, but the law of mentalism in that is connected to the first dimension as well. It is just good to recognize when we are in our own one-dimensional echo chamber. So I'll read the law of mentalism on another post, along with the alchemical themes, purification and calcination. So those are considered chemical or chemistry processes, and yet when you really look at some of the language, you see how far back these things go, and maybe it's literal, maybe it's figurative, maybe it's both. With the element of Aries, we have fire, malleable fire at that. And that is connected to the alchemical metal, iron, which is also malleable. Elemental form is the tetrahedron, the tone is C. And so some of this information is based on when she was doing 12 signs. So with the 13 sign shift, the tones would also most likely shift. But like, I really don't even me listing this stuff out, I'm like, because like I don't intend to share this and be like, now this is the truth. I think putting things into form, which is language, gets a little tricky when it comes to figuring out a truth of all truths, because then it sort of, at times, it carries some of the fabric or the quality of the fabric of that which we are attempting to change. And then we sort of become the thing that we wanted to change in some way. And so I want to be careful here just to say, please follow whatever you want to follow. But I'm setting this up again to share about Callie Foss, but also because I would like to play around with the dimensional structures of reality more. So some of that includes astrology, some of it doesn't, because astrology is different than astronomy, even if we're looking at like the true sky or the astronomical, because it's not just one sign, like say the sun. For the sun is all of the signs all together, no matter really which time of year it's in, but that's just how I see it. And so, let me just stop over explaining here. Okay, overall, what I'm saying is follow what you want to follow and be mindful of when you're overly attaching and identifying with any system. But do what you want. I'm a big fan of people doing what they want. Like, do what you actually want to do with this Aries energy. Like, do what you want to do. Primary embodied correlations, the silver seed center, the first 8 cells of the coccyx, and birth canal programming. It is connected to the first dimensional, the first harmonic universe, the incarnate identity matrix. This contains the subconscious mind of the ego personality, whereas Taurus and Gemini will hold the instinctual and the reasoning minds that are also part of the incarnate identity matrix. Blah, blah, blah. Autonomic processes, hard drive of cellular memories, houses of ego, abuse, trauma, shock, devastation. And so if you're interested in some of the stuff that I don't end up going over, just go to her website and look it up or anywhere else. But this is where I'm taking it from is hers. So it might have that little strange layer involved that you wouldn't find on Wikipedia or elsewhere, where it's going to include the bad aliens, for example. The chakra is the first chakra. It's the root. It's the base chakra. The sphere is the first one. This is connected to parallel Earth. And it's also around the location of where the Earth star chakra is. So there is a connection to the Earth star chakra here. Really, everything's connected to everything, but that's apparently that's pseudoscience. Auric layer is the etheric body. Some would call it the ethereal body. The biochemical cell salt, which is Cali-Phos. It's cell salt number 6, calcium phosphoricum. With Aries, we have cardinal masculine fire. It is primarily ruled by Mars and secondarily by the sun. I'm not really into the age archetypes thing in terms of making it so literal. Like, I really don't like the way astrology is interpreted, but that's because I'm a grumpy 3,000-year-old sassy gay alien man. Anyway, the age archetype of Aries is the baby, is the infant. First house of identity, the ego, self-image, and physicality. General archetype, the trailblazer. Some of these notes are shout out to Jana Romer. That's what some of these are from. I just remember the trailblazer being one that she introduced me to. The glyph is the ram. You could also see it as the roots. I don't think I'm included the glyph here at all. The affirmation is I am. It rules trailblazing, the ego, war, beginnings. Indulgences here are leading, large and in charge, a good argument, play, initiations, making prototypes. Aries brings attention to these areas: selfishness, impulsivity, unaware of their own energy, your own energy, aggressive, reactive. The grammar here is mixed, whatever. Confrontational, tendency to be headstrong, has a poor delivery. We can all carry this energy. So some of the lessons are slow down, learn to relax, finish what you started. Fight nice. Explore impulse control. Like, who are you in the spectrum of impulsivity? Where do you land, and which situations, arenas, environments, etc., circumstances do you feel more impulsive? Some of the gems, again, take it all with a grain of salt because there's many more than that. Diamond and amethyst are highlighted here. We have a spectrum of Aries, and this is from low to high. It doesn't have to be like that, but it's just how I listed it. Short-tempered, anger, rage, all about me. Your feelings are all that matter. Like, your feelings are all that matter because you can't see outside of yourself, so everyone's gonna hear about it. Won't take no for an answer. No opening for feedback. Starts projects, doesn't finish them. And then the middle octave here, still restless, but aware of it, starting to see the self more and can hear no, but still may combat it, can grow to a conversation instead of a fight. The self-awareness, starting to see the mirrors within people and things and places and situations. Aggression can turn to assertiveness. Starts to wonder what others think and see. Opposite of Libra in a 12-sign approach. So we're starting to move from the me to the we. And then we have the high octave to be brave and courageous. So what are you here in or on this plane, however you see it, to do? Always going to take proper action. You know what you're here to fight for or stand for. Self-awareness grows to see how powerful you are. Therefore, you see the responsibility and the esteem. The Spider-Man quotation. With great power comes great responsibility. Sophisticated embodiment of ego instead of combative and aggressive. Can receive feedback with grace. Challenge of identity is accepted so they can learn to adjust it. Being able to take it and go, huh, maybe that's a good point, and not make it so offensive. Genuinely interested and invested in others' opinions, ideas, and activities. So, this is a way I think we could play around with rather than identifying fully as an Aries or an Aries. Like I have an Aries MC. That's my only Aries placement in tropical, in sidereal. It's my Jupiter. So, I like to be aware of this, but we can all be all of these things. And so in a day, we might be the low and the high and it's not about confining to one thing, but maybe acknowledging and playing around with these energies in a certain way. Um, so we have cardinal fire, match strike, and that's one of my favorite things to say about cardinal signs. They can start a fire easily, but they can also take action easily. So meaning, yeah, they can fight easily, but they can also be so practical, like, whoa, what do we have to do? Let's do it. Invention and innovation. So this is a little different than Aquarius, but similar. Jumps in with 2 feet and doesn't always think things through, which is kind of cool though. Assume someone will help them out of their dilemma. Can act quickly under this energy, tending to needs high aggression, heightened sexuality, and creativity. Aries people are brain workers who are earnest, executive, and determined, so they rapidly use up the brain vitalizers, like Callie Foss. They can be natural doubters until they figure out a thing for themselves. Anatomically, we have Aries ruling with the galactic true sidereal approach from Ascension Glossary, this part. Adrenals, brain, cerebral hemispheres, cranium, eyes, face, internal carotid arteries, thalamus, and upper jaw. And then with the cell salts, this is the tropical. We have cerebrum, face to lower jaw, sensory nerves, and spinal cord. Main archetypes or themes could be again the trailblazer. I listed it 3 times. Pioneer, uninhibited prototype maker. Like we are exploring, we are experimenting, and we are doing the damn thing. We're not just in the head about it. Strong need for adventure, gets bored easily. That's general, potentially for a fire energy. Has a dynamic life, exploring and trying new things, loves challenge and tension, debates, plays the devil's advocate, competition and friendship, potentially healthy. We're looking at healthy, playful competition, not petty, aggressive things. Sexual tension and relationship, again, it could be a spectrum. They are announcers, they are gatherers. Let's all go. But can you keep up with Aries energy? You might want to be mindful when you agree to do something and someone is, way more inclined to do something than you are able to at your capacity. Me, I'm a Taurus. Doesn't need to be that Tauruses are always slow, but yeah, I definitely don't. Any way you look at my chart, human design, whatever. I'm a manifesting generator, but I only have the sacral defined, okay? I don't have any other motor centers defined. I only have enough energy to do what I need to do. Um, but again, we all have a little bit of Aries energy, so it's fun to play around with. Questions. Who am I? Which of course always I hear Derek Zoolander. Who am I? What am I, and of course, as in you also do. What am I here to fight for? What or who is worth fighting for? What am I here to start? Is this my battle to fight? Just some general things. And this is anatomy, more so to be induced to your pineal gland so you can remember, oh, this is the brain arena, and the brain is the organ of thought. And thought is a motion of spirit when it comes to Aries being this first form, this upper inner chamber of light. So we have the cranial nerves, the right and left hemispheres, the eye, which is also shaped like a circle, like the head is. There's spheres within spheres. We have the cerebrum, the cranium, the spine, sectional planes of the brain, the face, different parts of the face. I included the kidneys and adrenal glands for the adrenal glands aspect and Aries connection with the root. And we have the mandible and more. Enjoy. Okay.